digital transformation means that organizations are using technologies in new ways to create new products and services and potentially even disrupt industries. We see that, for example, in retail or in banking, where banks are investing large amounts of money to create a multi-channel experience for us, the consumers, and mobile end users. That, of course, puts a big strain on the data center because the data center needs to deliver performance so that users can interact with the services they want to use in real time. So we have a very performance-hungry data center, but at the same time it also creates the challenge of scale, because these new web applications that are being developed, they need to scale very rapidly if they are a customer success. And at the same time they also create large amounts of data, so the data centers need to be able to capture this data, analyze it, and provide the outputs back to organizations for real-time analysis. So we need really performance and scale, and that is very expensive. So data center managers have the challenge that they also need to provide these technologies at the best possible cost level, because otherwise they won't be able to provide this experience. And this is really the challenging environment that we are facing in 2015, is how to provide this performance and scale while at the same time keep the cost down. We see four major disruptors of the data center market in Europe in 2015. The first one is around flash, and specifically around flash storage. We expect that 40% of the market, of the European storage market, will be driven by flash-powered systems, either hybrid arrays or all-flash arrays, because of the need for performance that we see on the third platform and as companies are working through their digital transformation projects. So that's one. The second one is really about converged systems, where we see that server storage and networking components are sold as one large data center block, if you want. And already 15% of the storage market is being sold, or 15% of the storage revenue is being driven by integrated system sales. The third one is around software-defined data center, where companies are trying to decouple the hardware components and the software layer so that they have more flexibility in using x86-based standard hardware if that's what they want, or other proprietary hardware underneath the same software layer, and then they can drive policy and governance from the software layer. And the fourth one is around cloud. Cloud architectures are really becoming more and more prevalent, and we believe in 2015 is going to be the year of the hybrid cloud, where more than 50% of organizations will be trying to really truly integrate their on-premise clouds with public clouds. But we also believe, because it's a tough challenge to do that, that only about 20% will be able to actually succeed with these projects. And then there's a fifth trend actually that is kind of combining the other four, and that is the trend towards open source. And while open source is already very prevalent on the server side, for the first time we see that open source technologies are also coming into the storage market and have a serious chance to succeed in the storage market. And particularly around OpenStack, which is a whole new way of interacting with IT infrastructure, and especially developers are very happy to use OpenStack as a new paradigm. The European data center channel is going to be much more fragmented in 2015 because we see all these new technologies coming to market, and channel partners really need to make a decision which technologies they want to focus on. And some channel partners, they are very early in embracing new technologies, especially technologies like OpenStack, that require a significant investment in new employee skills and also a new way of doing business. Whereas the mainstream of the partners will probably wait until they see demand for OpenStack, for example, building in Europe. So we believe that the channel will be much more fragmented and spread out into early adopters and then the mainstream market and then laggards. We believe that the European data protection regulation will finally be passed in 2015. We've been waiting for that for some time now, but 2015 is going to be the year where it's going to happen. And that will trigger a whole lot of IT spending, we believe, because organizations, even though they have 2 years to get ready for the European Data Protection Regulation, they will need to assess if they will be ready to comply. And these assessments take time. So we strongly advise organizations to already get started now with their assessment, to find out where their gaps are, where they need to invest in order to be able to comply with the regulation, because 2017 is going to come very fast. And the biggest area of investment is going to be around information governance and information management, because that is a very tough challenge to solve for organizations. They've been trying for many years to do that, and now they really have to do it because the fines are so significant that it actually makes sense to invest in technology in order to be able to comply, instead of waiting for the fines to come, because they will be much higher than the investment in technology that companies can make.